Well. My house waits till. Yeah. No, it took me 5. So you. Wow.
Okay, good morning, everyone.
Morning, sir. Morning.
Okay. Welcome to the December 4th joint annual meeting between the CVTA, the RRTPO and Plan RVA. If we could start with a roll call, and I think we're gonna do a joint roll call, is that right? Okay, we can start with that, please.
Okay. Town of Ashland, Mayor Trevette,
Here.
Ms. Barnhart, Mr. Chambers,
Here.
Carl City County, Mr. Adkins,
Present.
Mr. Patterson, Mr. Walton, Chesterfield County, Mr. Carroll,
Here.
Mr. Engel,
Here.
Mr. Miller,
Here.
Mr. Petrosky,
Here.
Ms. Schneider. Present. Mr. Davy,
Here.
Mr. Hilton,
Here.
Goochland County, Mr. Lyle, Mr. Spoonhour, Mr. Botters, Mr. Winfrey,
Here.
Hanover County, Mr. Davis,
Present.
Ms. Dibble, Mr. Hudson,
Here.
Ms. Pritchard. Here. Mr. Ledbetter,
Here.
Mr. Waddell,
Present.
Henrico County, Reverend Cooper,
Present.
Mr. Mackey, Mr. Nelson,
Here.
Chair Rogish,
Here.
Ms. Roundtree, Mr. Schmidt, Mr. Bost, and Mr. Dixon. Powhatan County, Mr. Donati,
Here.
Mr. Kenny, Mr. McClung,
Here.
Ms. Morissette, Mr. Powers, Ms. Winall, City of Richmond, Mayor Avula,
Here.
Mr. Breton,
Present.
Ms. Jordan, Dr. Newbill,
Here.
Ms. Eddings,
Here.
Ms. Knight,
Here.
Capital Region Airport Commission, Mr. Miller, Mr. Rutledge, Commonwealth Transportation Board, Mr. Davis, Department of Aviation, Mr. Harrington, Mr. Smiley, Federal Highway Administration, Mr. Ofori, Mr. Rucker,
Present.
GRTC, Ms. Adams,
Here.
Ms. Torres, Federal Transit Administration, Mr. Koenig, Ride Finders, Ms. Ruffin,
Here.
Senate of Virginia, Ms. Hashmi, Department of Rail and Public Transportation, Ms. Dubinsky, Mr. Hudson, Ms. Robinson, Mr. Trogdon, RMTA, Ms. Dean,
Here.
Ms. Marshall,
Here.
VDOT, Mr. Brick, Mr. Riblet,
Here.
Mr. Totten, and Department, excuse me, Port of Virginia, Mr. Cross, Mr. Edwards, and Ms. Nelson. Okay. Certified quorum for TPO.
New Kent County.
Oh, New Kent County, I'm so sorry, New Kent County. I lost you, but let me find you.
I do believe maybe that's because of all the speeding tickets. Hasn't happened to you, he has warned us, so if this happens to you, it's because you weren't at a meeting, he has warned us at each meeting, so.
Mr. Hathaway. Mr. Moyer. Wait,
You got two halfway.
it's too bad. Ms. Pearson. Here. And Ms. Stewart. We do have a quorum.
Thank you. If you would please join me in standing if you're able for the Pledge of Allegiance.
That's spicy.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Before I turn it over to Ms. Schickel, Mr. Parsons to welcome, I just want to say on behalf of myself, my colleagues on the other two board, it is wonderful to see everyone here for the holiday season. You know, we are fortunate enough to have elected officials and representatives here from all localities, whether it's rural or city, left or right, blue, red, et cetera, or all of us looking for the same goal in moving Central Virginia forward. So thank you for that this morning. I'm gonna turn it over to Ms. Schickel. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay. We're just really happy to have everyone here. Chet and I have put together in consultation with our chairs, a program today that we hope we will find informative, a little celebratory, but also instructive for how we think about plans for the future. So I'll just start by saying thank you so much to our staff. They've put on a really wonderful event this morning. If we didn't achieve a quorum with this group, we'd have to redo the bylaws or something. Phenomenal attendance, and I'm just really grateful for each of you for making the commitment to be here this morning and to celebrate the work that our three organizations do together.
Yeah, I just wanted to follow quickly to echo Chairman Rogish's comments. The collaboration and cooperation that this region has is something to celebrate, and I think that's a big reason why we're all here today, and you can see it in the energy in the room. So thank you all for being here and continuing the work of supporting the region, supporting each other, and let's get started.
Great, thank you. I would be remiss too if I didn't also just acknowledge the administrators that are in the room. So thank you all to the administrators, our county managers, city leadership, our town leadership, our deputies, our department directors. Many of you spend a lot of time in this room, either in person or virtually, helping to guide and shepherd the work that we do regionally. And I'm just really grateful and thank you. We didn't call your names today. We would have been here for way too long if we called all of the rosters of the different lists that we manage, but we're just really grateful for everyone for being here. So Sid is going to help me navigate through a brief slide presentation just to talk through a little bit about our three organizations and just ground today's conversation in why do we meet together? Why do we work together? Why do we organizationally live together here in this space? And you know, what is all of that for? So just a kind of a quick rundown. I'm gonna do, oh, I'm so sorry. I skipped over our action item. Apologies. Sorry for that. When we posted the packet for the TPO members, there were 2 tip amendments included in a consent agenda item, and we did want to ask for the policy board members to take action on those 2 things this morning so that we can move those through.
And Ms. Schickel, do we need a separate motion or can we do them both together?
A combined motion
Okay.
for the 2 items on the.
So for the TPO folks, we do have 2 tip amendments that both went through Smart Scale. The first one in Chesterfield County on, I think it's Alverser Drive, if I'm saying that correctly, near Busy Street, which Busy Street.
Yeah.
I'll never forget that.
I don't know how you can't approve something on Busy Street, and that did go through the Rural Surface Transportation Grant Program. And the second tip amendment is the extension of the Pulse, basically going from City of Richmond out to Parham in Henrico County. So with those 2 tip amendments, can we get a motion?
Motion to approve both.
Motion by Mr. Carroll, second by Ms. Schneider. All in favor? Any opposed? Ayes have it, and that concludes our formal business. Thank you.
So with that, I will do just a quick run through, giving those of you that might not have the opportunity to sit on all 3 of the boards that are convened this morning, a little bit of background about our organizational purpose, and then talk through really why I think it's so special that these 3 organizations work so closely together. So I am the executive director of Plan RVA. That's the Richmond Regional Planning District Commission. I've been here now for 10 years. Next week is my 10-year anniversary, which is bonkers. I don't feel like I should be old enough to say that I've been working in regional planning district commissions now for 20 years, but I guess that's reality for you. It's been a real pleasure to be with this organization and see it evolve and work with so many of you as you've been on a journey for Plan RVA to really, I think, establish sort of a different and a new role in this organization. And the work that we do with the Richmond Regional Transportation Planning Organization and CVTA is just so much a part of, I think, the value that we as an organization bring to the region. We're one of 21 planning district commissions across the Commonwealth who really exist to serve our member jurisdictions and thinking about the bigger picture of what regional planning can look like, about those issues that cross jurisdictional boundaries and how we can bring localities together in the areas that matter most for you to cooperate. We have phenomenal staff, about 31 staff members who have expertise in environmental and natural resources issues, emergency management, resilience, community development and housing, transportation, data analysis and synthesis, community engagement. We've got a very strong administrative and finance team, and we're just really, really proud of the work that we do here. And all of those things, the skill set that our staff members bring to the table, I think really speak to the breadth of the exposure that we have in our community. One of the primary functions of planning district commissions is to prepare a regional strategic plan. And many of you have been on, if you were here last December, you were part of this journey in really helping us crystallize that. And so you'll see over by the entrance, we have our some information about those pieces with our regional strategic vision that was adopted by the Planning District Commission board members in June of this year. And this really is an exciting time for Plan RVA. For a long time, to fulfill that statutory requirement, we've used some of our, I'll say like kind of functional plans, our transportation plan or our economic development strategy to satisfy that requirement. And over the last 2 years, our staff and our board members and our local government members have been working to coalesce those functional plans to really say, this is what our vision is for the region. And so I'm really proud that the board took action in June to adopt that vision, and it can serve as that sort of guiding umbrella compass for us as we move forward. That's really important as we think about the relationship that we have with the Richmond Regional Transportation Planning Organization and the CVTA, because I think that it really brings purpose to why we do this planning work. It's to connect those functional plans in ways that we've always seen before, but we didn't explicitly talk about it. And so the staff have worked just in a phenomenal way over the last couple of years. I'll tell a brief story. I think about 2.5 years ago, I was sitting in Miles Bushing's office and said something to him of, well, gosh, thinking I was being very profound in my my comments to him about, it would be really great if we thought about this sort of structurally, and we started putting the plans that we produced together and thought of them almost as like chapters of a bigger kind of story of where we're headed as a region. He said, I've been working on a slide deck for that for about 1.5 years. I've got it right here. Do you want to see it? So he accelerated what I thought was going to be, a massive amount of work going forward. He and Sarah Stewart on our team really kind of accelerated this approach of thinking about the interconnectedness of the functional plans that we produce and how they can really achieve this greater, broader vision. And so again, as I said on June 11th, so you can go to the next slide. The board adopted this vision for the region that I think is really exciting. Not only does it aggregate, if you will, the functional plans that this organization produces, but I think that it very strongly speaks to the spirit of what your local plans are all about. Our team, led by Ellen Cook, read every comp plan, every strategic plan, every functional plan that your localities have adopted over probably like about a 5-year window. And we didn't use AI. We used real people in our office to go through and synthesize those plans and identify the key themes that bind us together as a 9-community region. And that's how we came up with these strategic themes. We workshopped that with you over 2 different workshop settings, the joint annual meeting last December, and a meeting with the board prior to that in September of 24, I think it was, to really get to the point where we are today. And it's just really exciting. The dialogue and discussion that we were able to have during Pathways to the Future, the regional symposium last March with the community, was really enriching and enlivening, and it it helped us reach parts of the community that we haven't reached before. We've been able to meet with neighborhood associations in your localities, thanks to many of you for making those introductions. And to be able to talk about this in a way that we've got this North Star that we're all kind of rowing in the same direction to move. We each got our own oar, which has a different kind of role and place in the puzzle, but we're all kind of moving in the same direction. And it's been incredibly encouraging to see how much support has really fallen behind this effort. Holly would kill me if I didn't talk about things that are kind of coming ahead, but I want to take a moment to just acknowledge that on this journey, we didn't just create a vision. We've also adopted our adopted our comprehensive economic development strategy. The commission took action at our last meeting to do that, and that's been submitted to USEDA. That's the first time since 2017 this region had that comprehensive economic development plan in place, and so we're excited about that. We also are in the process, if it hasn't already gone in, of submitting the region's first climate action plan. So that's our action plan for improving air quality across the region. It actually includes more than the 9 localities here in the Richmond region. It includes the Crater Planning District as well. And so another big milestone for how we're taking this vision and putting the plan and ultimately putting that plan to action. We're in the process of a public comment period right now on our natural resources plan. And so I would encourage you to please check out the material on our Engage website and please share through your networks. You can access the Engage page at engage.planrva.org, or you can click the QR code here from the screen to be able to point your constituents and your peers and colleagues in the right direction to be able to give input in that. And then, as you all know, one of the reasons why we're gathered here today is that long-range transportation plan. We're about the midpoint of that planning process, and we'll have another public engagement opportunity starting in the new year, continuing really through March. But we're driving in the home stretch. I know Dorian doesn't probably feel like it right now, who's leading that project, but we'll be driving to have that plan come to the policy board in September, if I'm not mistaken, of next year for approval. We're working right now and into the new year for the project prioritization. The TAC and the project steering committee have been actively working on that solidification of the universe of projects, which is a very big milestone in our project plan for this effort. And then, as many of you know, transportation safety has been a very big priority for this year. I'm proud to say that the leadership of the TPO put a stake in the ground and said it's not okay for us to just plan on more deaths and serious injuries to occur in our region. We've got to curb this trend. And so for the first time, I think to my knowledge, the policy board actually set a transportation safety threshold that is below the natural growth that's projected for the region. And so Mr. Carroll, I'll echo you for a moment. For those that are watching at home, I just think it's really important to note that our localities are serious about transportation safety and curbing those tragedies that have happened across the region. And so it's a big undertaking to try to stem those tragedies, but it's something that our staff are very passionate about, and you'll hear a little bit more about how we're thinking about and getting involved in that work going forward. From the TPO side, kind of as a nice segue, the Transportation Planning Organization has been around in this region since the late 1980s. It was certified by the governor at the time. The Transportation Planning Organization is the entity that stewards the federal grant-making process for regions across the country. It is the mechanism for localities of metro areas to access federal funding. And so it's a crucial part of how our region accesses federal transportation funding, and it represents a very strong partnership between our state transportation agencies and the federal government, and how all 3 layers of government, federal, local, state, work together to be able to address and move the region forward literally through transportation investment. There are a number of requirements that the MPO must adhere to, and Plan RVA works very closely with the governing body of the TPO to ensure that we meet those compliance requirements. But at its core, the TPO is designed to establish that long-range transportation plan, our vision for transportation and infrastructure in the region, and to operationalize that through the Transportation Improvement Program, which is the mechanism for investing money to real projects and making real things happen in our community. And then ultimately to establish that annual work program each year to make the wish list become a to-do list. And so this organization is, any of you that serve on it know the agendas are jam-packed with decisions every month. You know, sometimes it feels a little bit, I think, overwhelming to hear UPC number and you know, such and so, but it really is the mechanism to be able to move a project forward from idea to reality. And it's a true partnership represented with our local governments and how we make real things happen. Again, I'll reiterate, we are, you know, from a deliverable perspective, we are in the throes of updating our long-range transportation plan. And so you can track and follow the status of that. There are representatives from all 9 jurisdictions that serve on our steering committee. Your staff leadership identified who needed to be engaged in this from a project perspective. So this isn't necessarily a Plan RVA led event. This is a Plan RVA coordinated event. And this is something that we work very closely with your localities to ensure that it's reflective of and meets the needs of our member jurisdictions. So Plan RVA and the TPO do a lot of planning. We do a lot of visioning. We do a lot of work in the community to identify what the needs are and how we're going to fulfill them. CVTA until 2020 was sort of that missing piece of the puzzle about how we really move things along. We had a giant wish list, and I think Chet can speak to this more than I, but it's really been just incredible to see over the 5 years that CVTA has been here in our region, activated, stewarding revenue through sales tax and gas revenue into projects. And again, moving a wish list into a to-do list and making projects become a reality. It's really, really exciting. And I think is a testament to the ability that you as elected leadership have to work together to wrangle through. I love making ourselves look better than Hampton Roads. I was gonna say, I don't want to make ourselves look better, but I do. I think it took them 5 years to just get up and running. We were allocating money, you were allocating money to projects within the first 12 months. It's just really, really incredible to see how much under the leadership of the folks who were leading the way in the commission and in the TPO and then stepped into leadership with the CVTA, really how you came together to build an organization and put money on the ground and have construction projects happening really immediately. I mean, it's hard to imagine, but transportation infrastructure takes a really long time, and we've got actual things under construction right now because of CVTA. There are annual reports on your table that highlight some of the accomplishments of both the commission rolling into our TPO as well as CVTA. But I would be remiss if I didn't just again acknowledge over $1 billion in coming into our region over the last 5 years for transportation infrastructure. And I think that that's really like literally where the rubber meets the road, right? All of the planning that our organizations under my leadership have been able to do under Chet's leadership have been able to come to fruition. So it's very, very exciting. So what does that all mean and why do we work together? Really, I think it's, I hope I've already articulated, but it's the work of Plan RVA and our TPO that really set that foundational aspirational direction for where the region's going. But if you don't have the mechanism to get it done, it doesn't really matter, right? And so CVTA has been that awesome new partner in this fold to really help us move projects over into the, as I said, from the wish list to the to-do list. So Plan RVA is that tool that's available to each of our jurisdictions to be able to help in that same way at the local level, move ideas to action, but also from a regional perspective, be able to leverage that staff capacity that we have, whether it be data and analytics, subject matter competency, thinking about things holistically and regionally, and being able to move them forward through a very specific process. The 2 TIP amendments that were adopted this morning, I think are really great examples of that. Each of those projects had a role for Plan RVA, the TPO, and the CVTA in really tangible, necessary circumstances. The projects were submitted under a combined effort from the commission and the TPO through the Smart Scale Regional Project Prioritization process. And both projects have CVTA dollars invested that really leveraged and increased the capability of those projects to be funded. So it's a big part of how we really tell that story about how real things happen in this region. I think for you as elected officials in the room, that's really important because you've got citizens knocking on your door or calling every day, wanting to know when's this going to happen. And this is a place I hope that you feel like things actually happen. So we're working harder and harder, I think, every day to really be able to tell the story more clearly and cogently. And so we're testing out some language today. I'd love to get your feedback, but two different slides coming up that just sort of give that quick comparison. I think it's easy to get lost in the alphabet soup sometimes of all of the acronyms and programs and all of that kind of thing. But really at the end of the day, I think we're talking about how we take vision and community involvement and data and analysis and information and put that into the kind of the front end of the machine, and we mix it all together. It's like a big stew or whatever analogy you want to make. And then we move it through the process so that real things happen in our communities. And that's very, very exciting. So with that, Chet and I thought we would talk a little bit about some of the things that we're most excited about from a project prioritization standpoint, either things that you've heard a little bit about from staff reports or otherwise are just, things that you're going to hear about in the next couple of months. And I don't have any more slides, so you can. So the first thing is actually a year ago on December 5th, at our joint annual meeting, we were very excited to announce the award of the prioritization process pilot program. Ivan, I'm going to ask you just to put on the spot, maybe like 20 regions across the nation were selected for this program. Does that sound right?
Yes, absolutely.
So Ivan's been a big partner in this, and we announced the award last year, and then I don't know if anybody's followed the news, but the last 12 months with federal funding has been a little bit different than we're used to.
Yeah.
And so we got under contract about a month ago, and so we're really, really excited about that. And Ivan was a big part of making sure that happened. In anticipation of, actually, I guess it was longer than a month ago, in anticipation of the shutdown and really making sure that we were poised to kick that project off. And so in the coming new calendar year, we're positioning our staff to be able to kick this off. And the most exciting part about it is it brings the intent of this program, this pilot program, is to bring greater transparency to the public around how project prioritization and federal and local investment actually happens. So we'll be able to enhance our transportation demand model to be more comprehensive in evaluating the impacts of roadway investments across the community, whether that be from an environmental perspective, from a housing perspective, from an economic perspective, from a congestion perspective, all of those things to really be able to evaluate that and have better predictive analysis, and also calculate the return on investment for the dollars that get spent on a project. What's that ROI going to be for the community in various dimensions?
Martha, and we can use those tools for the CVTA
That's right.
because of the relationship.
That's right. Thank you. Yeah. We'll also be able to put that information out in the public domain so that we can have a better line of sight to how projects get selected, so that your residents can go to a place online and be able to look at this and really understand and see what's going on. What are those decisions that these people make every month, every first Thursday of the month in the Plan RVA boardroom? And how does that affect what's happening in my neighborhood or my community? This is really exciting because it aligns very much with Pathways to the Future and our regional strategic vision. So it helps to take this idea, this wish list, this vision list that we have, and make data-informed decisions through this transparent and data-driven model to be able to equip you better with the information that you need to make the right choices in your communities. Along with that, we've got this amazing partnership with Chamber RVA, Community Foundation of Greater Richmond and Petersburg, the United Way, Community Foundation for a Greater Richmond, United Way for Greater Richmond and Petersburg, Richmond Memorial Health Foundation, and moving an economic mobility initiative forward. And so where our strategic vision lines with this opportunity to advance economic mobility, we're leaning in with our partners to understand how we can track data, leveraging our competency here at Plan RVA, and how we can engage the community in conversations about what really matters most. And so that's leading us into some exciting territory with partnership with GRTC and thinking about what it means to have transit access across our region, whether that's in their fixed route service, whether that's in the on-demand service that we've been piloting for the last few years with the very successful microtransit program and Link, whether that's in our more rural communities with other providers. We've got an amazing program in Hanover with Hanover Dash that serves a very specialized group of people. We've got a great partnership in New Kent County with Bay Transit and many other providers working across the community to make sure that our residents can move about the region in ways that they need and would like to. As I mentioned again, transportation safety is another huge initiative. You can't achieve economic mobility if you're not able and alive. I mean, that's just kind of the bottom line. And the cost of the traffic-related collisions, injuries, and deaths is just too great for our region to continue to bear, whether that's personal cost of through injury or loss of income, or just the community cost of that loss of life. And so we're taking that very seriously. And I think it's another way that we can show up in this conversation about making sure that people in our region have every opportunity to achieve. But you've got to be able to get from point A to point B safely. And so really making sure that that infrastructure is there and that we can frankly, hopefully change some attitudes around driver behavior, multimodal transportation, and really think about what it means to be functioning safely in this region. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Trent to talk a little bit about the things he's excited about.
Sure. Thanks, Martha. So I just wanted to take a couple minutes to actually talk about some numbers, some data from projects that are happening around the region, things that we're all aware of, but that we should be celebrating. And I'm going to wrap up with a little bit of CVTA information just because that's what I'm excited about. But so we are a multimodal region, right? I mean, there's lots of people that are around this room that are serving on boards and commissions across the region. Let's start with Capital Region Airport Commission. I know there's some members of the board here. Information that I was able to receive from Mr. Miller, 4.9 million passengers in 2024, 214 million pounds of cargo. We're coming into the airport, 38 nonstop destinations, and I believe that's up from 19 just a couple years ago. So those are all huge growth milestones for the airport that we should all be celebrating and trying to expand even more. Port of Virginia, container volume is up 23% just in fiscal year 26 alone. So huge growth, 16.5 million investment in infrastructure projects just around the Richmond Marine Terminal. 19 plus port-centric developments have popped up in the last 2 years. And I believe there's 14 or 15 more that are currently in the works. So huge investment around the port, and that benefits the entire region. I know that the TPO has been heavily involved in getting updates on transforming rail in Virginia. So there's work currently happening on the Long Bridge all across the Potomac. Once that work is completed, we're going to have exponential growth in rail service, not just to Richmond, but to Tidewater, to North Carolina, and points beyond. So we're all eagerly anticipating that work being completed and moving forward. Regionally, we've got, so let's start with some highway projects, right? There is construction on I-64. First phase of that widening is going to be done in 27, second phase in 29. Yeah, right. And I heard something about traffic, but that's a byproduct of the work. Major investments happening right now in Short Pump, extension of Poway Parkway, 288, 4 or 5 current projects are on the books to either be started or already underway on 288 alone. Lots of just local investment as well in highway projects around the region. Active transportation, the Fall Line is a trail that some of us may have heard of. It's going to extend all the way from Ashland to Petersburg, and there are multiple sections that are already open. We've had our last section was in Hanover County to celebrate the opening of 5 miles of trail there just a few months ago, and it's already getting huge amounts of traffic, and people are enjoying that amenity. The next phase is the southern section, which is going to go all the way from the southern shore of the Appomattox around Virginia State up into Chesterfield County. I believe that's about 10 and a half miles of new trail that's already invested, and design build project is underway. So that's happening. And then inside those 2 projects, we're seeing local investment across Henrico, the city, and Chesterfield County to bring all those parts together. And then transit, we heard active tip amendment this morning for the Pulse Extension West from Willow Lawn to Parham Road. There's a north-south segment of the Pulse that is currently underway that's gonna bring the Pulse south of the river for the first time, and that's super exciting to see. And then a downtown transfer center, which is a huge investment and you know, looking ahead to the downtown city center and what the potential of that project could bring, not just for transit riders, but for economic development, for tourism, for all kinds of things that might be happening in downtown. I flew through those, but I did want to talk a little bit about CVTA funding. Martha had a slide on a minute ago that talked about allocations and commitments and revenues. It's already outdated, so I wanted to go through the current numbers. Sure. Lifetime to date, we have seen tax revenues in excess of $520 million just going back to local governments. So each of you in the room that serves on a local board has seen some type of immediate return from tax revenues received by the CVTA. The other 50% is now split between regional investments as big projects, some of which I just highlighted, and GRTC investment in public transportation around the region. So the regional investments, $365 million, GRTC public transportation, $156 million. And I say that because we're now at $1.05 billion in revenues in the first 5 years of the CVTA. So we're continuing to grow. We're continuing to find new ways to reinvest funds and grow our coffers so that we can immediately turn those funds around and put it towards regional needs. I think one of the huge byproducts of having the CVTA and the hard work that each of you have done who serve on that board is that we can leverage CVTA dollars, tax revenues, to go towards even more investment. The VDOT has a program called Smart Scale. For those of you who are not familiar, it is in its 12th year, I think, 12th or 13th year. And the last round of Smart Scale funding was announced in June of 2025. Because of CVTA leveraging on those Smart Scale applications by Plan RVA, the TPO, and localities, this region, the Richmond District, was able to garner $512 million in additional investment from the Smart Scale program. And I say that, and I may not have the same strong feelings about the Tidewater that Martha does, but Tidewater got about $140 million out of the Smart Scale program this year. Northern Virginia, a similar number. So the exponential support that this region has been able to grow through collaborating and cooperating on putting our best foot forward is reflected in these numbers. So
Deserves a round of applause. Thank you, Dolores.
And I think as I close this section, the last thing to highlight about CVTA is we're not done, right? We have an opportunity, through legislative powers, we can issue bonds. That's something that the authority is investigating heavily, carefully, and deliberately. But we are poised and working towards a point where CVTA can garner additional leverage through a bond referendum. And that's something that we're excited about doing when the time is right. So stay tuned on that, and we'll look forward to additional updates as the year goes by. I think the next is our last section, and we could not let the collective brainpower in this room go untapped. So this is the audience participation section. Oh, gosh. I do have, before I get into everybody in the audience, I did want to call on our three chairs. Some of you may be aware, Reverend Nelson, I'm sorry. What we want to do is give each of you an opportunity to talk about one regional opportunity that you're excited about. Doesn't have to be related to the seat you're serving. It could be anything that is a good example of regional collaboration and something that, you know, gets you excited when you wake up in the morning.
Well, I'll go first.
I'm just excited to wake up.
Give me plenty of time to think, Reverend Nelson. Something that, and I'm Jordan Stewart, for those of you who can't see my name tag, I serve on the Board of Supervisors in New Kent County, and I'm the chair of Plan RVA for this year. Something that I'm very excited about, and all the members from New Kent that are here today, from our county administrator to our planning commission member to our fellow supervisors, have been working very hard on is housing. And I'm not sponsored by the flyer on your table, but I do think that what excites me regionally is the opportunity to learn from our neighboring localities on how you've addressed your housing as you've grown as localities. Anyone who's traveled through New Kent, whether you've gotten a speeding ticket or not, knows that we are growing rapidly and we are attracting businesses that would like their employees to live in our county. We don't have enough houses for that. And we are trying to figure out what to do with it. And as we sat around the table in the beginning of my time as chair, we realized that maybe we don't talk enough about it with our friends in the room. So I thought that was a great place to start to learn. You know, I know specifically from our friends in Chesterfield who are much farther along than us, what we may want to do, what we may not want to do. When we look at Hampton Roads, because I do represent the easternmost part of New Kent, can we learn any best practices or worst practices from them? I think Martha's Drive to Beat Them will help inform us there. But it really excites me to know that there are people in the room doing this work, and there have been people that have come before us that are still in the room, still willing to talk with us and do that have done and do that hard work. And then part of the organization's benefit to us here is they have the data that informs that, because I want to return on investment for every single thing that I do, whether it's in my personal life, my professional life, or here as an elected official in this body. And I think the return on investment in an operation like we have here is really limitless, and that excites me a lot. So my answer is specifically the housing opportunities and learning from our fellow localities. Did that give you enough time?
Yeah. I think for me, one of the exciting, I'm sorry, I'm Jody Rogish, represent the western part of Henrico, Mr. Cooper, in Tuckahoe District. Thank you. I think for me, what excites me are some of the regional collaborations, and specifically this morning, I was talking to the district representative and city council, Mr. Gumby. And, you know, we talked about the bike lanes. He said, well, he's getting texts from residents in my district on the bike lanes near Willow Lawn. And he's encouraged about potentially creating bike lanes there and connecting them to us. And so when we talk about, we kind of think about our own little district, but really as a broader region, and I'll go to the Fall Line Trail and the Capitol Trail. What excellent resources. People fly here to ride on the Capitol Trail from around. So it helps the tourism for the region, et cetera. Those are the things that excite me the most. And I think the transportation, we think about all the different levels of transportation, whether it's walking or busing or the planes, et cetera. I think what gets me going is the connection between on the Capitol Trail, Fall Line Trail, and what we can do on the expansion of all of those. So thank you.
Good morning, Tyrone Nelson, Henrico County as well. I guess as a senior person now, somebody been around for a while.
Season.
Yeah, seasoned. It's a lot of different things. So I think is Delegate McQueen here yet?
Yeah, she is. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll hold my comments about her. But negative, I'm not negative. You'll see what I mean in a second. The prior to CVTA, the things that we're able to do now are amazing. And so whether it's a support of GRTC or the funding of bigger projects that localities would have had to take decades to get the money to use to help. And you look through the region, and if you look with the region eye, whether it's like the Fall Line or anything that's gonna happen in Chesterfield in the future, or Henrico, or if you're going up and down 64 and you see the widening of the interstate, knowing that this organization had played a part in that. So CVTA, you know, and beyond what we do with TPL and where the PDC, as we used to call it, Plan RVA. All of these things work together to make the region a better place. And when people think of us, we look at ourselves as individual localities, but the truth is people outside of here look at us as the Richmond region. And all of this makes the Richmond region a better place. So this is what I'm excited about.
All right, so now is the time when I'm gonna ask each of you to get out your personal computing device. They are phones, and so much more. All right, hopefully this QR code will work for everyone who's done mobile polling. Hopefully everyone has done that by now. We have a series of 4 questions that we want everyone to look at. This is an anonymous poll, but I think it'll be really helpful as we move forward. The collaborative work that we're doing across all 3 agencies can really benefit from some of the thoughts that you all might have.
There it is.
So the first question here is super simple. Talk about a regional collaboration you're proud of. And I mean, we've got 9 localities present. We've got multiple agencies. We've got, nonprofits, partnerships. Let everybody know.
Doesn't all have to be transportation either.
All right, anybody having trouble connecting?
I just got it.
All right, I'm seeing 40 people have responded.
Thanks.
This is great.
64 wacky.
Okay, so if you're not familiar with the word cloud, the bigger the word is, the more people have said it.
Yeah.
So we're seeing some trending there on the Fall Line Trail, active transportation, all kinds of stuff. This is great. I'm gonna just read off a couple. So private meetings.
Wow.
We need some more information on that.
It is anonymous.
Water collaboration. It is anonymous. I see Carmack Park. I see exit 211.
Yeah.
Microtransit. The Pulse, Airport Commission, Busy Street. Right? This is great. All right, we're gonna let this go for, 10 more seconds, and then we'll move on.
No one who put that in.
Yeah.
Some busy.
Great. Anybody need another second or two? Okay, all right, I'm gonna move on. Thank you so much. All right, now's when it gets real. In 1 or 2 words, what's the single largest issue facing the region over the next 5 years? Anonymous.
Private meetings.
Private meetings.
Private meetings.
I don't think it's gonna change.
Hey, the trend is housing and growth.
Right, so there is some ideas.
Great, I see funding. Housing for all, safety, older adults, gas tax funding, national politics, affordability,
The Coliseum.
the college.
There, I was just.
Educational success.
It's actually great. I mean, the fact that the region is interested in tearing that thing down together.
Regional thing. We're all coming in with our shovels.
Demolish Coliseum might be.
That'd be fun. That'd be fun. Be your own contractor.
All right, I still see people typing, but we're gonna move on in 10 seconds. All right, very good. On a scale of 1 to 5, how confident are you that our region can do the work that needs to be done? Yeah, this is great. So we're averaging 4.3. Good. Confidence. Yeah. Yeah, that's great. And that really speaks to what we've been talking about this morning, right? The ability of everyone to work together and get things across the finish line. All right, last question. Where should our priorities lie? Pick the first thing that you would focus on. And we included some of the things that were mentioned earlier in the presentation, but I also added an other category. So if you think there's something else, then feel free to check that and share if you're willing. All right, we're seeing votes for functional infrastructure and diverse housing are leading the way. All right, anybody who, 2 people have said other, anybody want to volunteer?
Yeah, I'll volunteer.
Sure, Mr. Carroll.
Community safety. All these other things are absolutely fantastic, but you have a safe community, it doesn't matter. Community safety.
Yeah. Community safety. Okay. All right, I think we're slowing down. We've got 20 votes for functional infrastructure, 11 for diverse housing, 6 for expanded employment opportunities, early childhood education and accessible neighborhoods. All right, anybody else want to share anything at this point? Well, I want to thank you very much for this. I think it's going to be a huge assist as we continue to formulate our work programs for the coming few years. At this point, I think we can go into our final part of the program. Okay. Yep.
Now comes the fun part. It's my stand-up comedy routine. I hope you all buckled up. Now I hate to read off of a script. Is this anybody's phone? I hate to read off of a script, but this is the part that I don't want to get wrong, so I am going to read. We have 2 awards that I will give out now, and then one that I'll give out later. And I want to start with the Employee of the Year Award. And this is specific to Plan RVA. And I don't have my glasses, so I'm hoping they're in here. So Plan RVA's Employee of the Year Award was established in 2022 in the name of Jen Lee, who served the region as a staff member for 34 years, which is my current age, just so you're.
Bragging.
I have a birthday this month, okay? The award is given to employees who embody the qualities of a dedicated professional, who set a standard for public service and who exhibit quality performance and kindness. This is the third award we presented in Jen's name, and I'm pleased to share a little bit about this individual, and they have no idea they're going to be recognized. Much of what I'm sharing was provided by colleagues and there are multiple nominations for this employee, a testament to their quality, making them well suited for this award. This employee has a quiet power and kind tenacity and a deep passion for how data can transform perceptions, participation, and decision-making by just about anyone. And most of you in here have heard a presentation by this person recently, and I know I was moved by the data they presented. As a professional colleague, this employee is always interested in hearing how data can be a part of the project or the solution, and is generous with time and is just basically a really nice human. We need more of that, so I'm grateful for this person. It is a pleasure to work alongside them, and one nominator shared that they feel great confidence in their skills and willingness to take on new learning to ensure that our work is respected, relevant, and engaging for the public we serve. Another colleague wrote, "They are a quiet but steady force at Plan RVA." This employee has led or helped launch important efforts demonstrating strong technical and interpersonal capabilities, contributes thoughtful analysis to internal and external conversations, yielding higher quality product and analysis, and is always ready to support ongoing projects, coworkers, and community members with complex data questions. Now that I've said all this, drum roll please. Elizabeth Greenwell brings skill, humility, and a lot of heart. Please stand up here. I'll finish reading this and then you can come get your prize. This year, Elizabeth brought the region's Near Miss dashboard to life with the support of her team and produced a public access data reporting and collection tool. There's a delay. That has been immediately understood and embraced by the public, particularly those who feel most vulnerable traversing our streets. She collaborated with OpenStreetMap US and Map RVA to bring forth a summer series of community talks that really became action-oriented events where people could find community to share in their love for mapping their city or whatever they are interested in. Through these well-attended convenings, she brought new residents into our building and our work. They likely helped bring new folks into the open mapping practice. As a presenter in the Valentine Museum's Controversy History series, she stepped into the spotlight as a speaker and data translator, inspiring those who care about an issue to better connect to the data that helps bring it context. Elizabeth has had a number of noteworthy achievements, and she does it all without ever seeking attention. She is a quiet overachiever who consistently shows up, solves hard problems, and makes the rest of us better. Outside of project work, Elizabeth stays active in communities like Map RVA, the Open Source Mapping Group, and Women in GIS, which helps keep Plan RVA connected with broader mapping and data networks. I'm giving it 3 seconds to catch up for the delay, wherever the delay. Elizabeth, we are so pleased to recognize you with the 2025 Employee of the Year Award. Thank you for all of your hard work and your passion for this project. So now that everyone feels much smaller about themselves, to the next one. And this is the Regional Champion Award. This award is intended to recognize a member of the RVA community for their service beyond their local community or organization. As we all know, collaboration is not an easy task. It is something that requires practice, patience, and most importantly, trust. Trust not just in others, but cultivated in others through honesty, integrity, reliability, and leadership. Today, we're thrilled to recognize a regional champion, a person who has served in their home community well since 2002, has grown to be a trusted friend and advisor all across our region, and who has been recognized potentially too few times for their success as a project manager and exemplar of just getting things done. Are you ready for this? Drum roll for this one. What, 3 second delay catch up? When Joe Vidunas started his career with Hanover County in 2002, was the transportation section. Over the last 23 years, he has seen the ebbs and flow of transportation funding, while calls for road improvements from citizens significantly increased. Might have coincided with when I got my driver's license, but that's fine. Joe played an integral part in the establishment of the CBTA, bringing stability to funding projects and increasing local agency and project prioritization and selection to move forward. His small but mighty team of now 4 manages a portfolio of 24 projects in development, 20 of which are valued at $230 million, which includes 0 general fund dollars. Hence an increase of projects multiple times over due to the success of the CBTA and returning revenue to Hanover County for transportation investments. He developed the county's 10-year funding plan and works with VDOT annually on the secondary 6-year plan. Joe's leadership has been recognized among peers and VDOT, earning Hanover County numerous awards over the years, including the VDOT Richmond District Locality of the Year Award in 2022 and earning the VDOT Richmond District Locally Administered Projects Project Manager of the Year Award in 2023. It's a mouthful. His team was successful in constructing Hanover County's first standalone bike ped project at Cool Spring Elementary School, which received the 2025 VDOT District Forum Best Bike Pedestrian Project. He led the project development of Hanover's first roundabout and our most unique project to date, Atlee Extended, which included a bridge over a rail line, which also incorporated a tunnel through the bridge embankment. In addition to these local accomplishments, Joe has led the RRTPO and CBTA's technical advisory committees and other various working groups, supported the development of at least 8 regional long-range transportation plans, and led the dialogue among regional partners through difficult conversations about project scoring, local project fund allocation, regional project prioritization, all while he's always challenged his colleagues to consider what is best for our region. His colleagues in the county shared this final remark that sums up the reason we're honoring him today. It is hard to think of an area in Hanover County that Joe has not had a hand in improving road safety for Hanover citizens and the traveling public. And Joe, on behalf of Plan RVA and our partners at Plan RVA CBTA, I am pleased to present, you can come up. Pleased to present you with this award. Thank you so much for your hard work, and thank you to Team Hanover for helping prepare these great remarks. Because this is actually unfortunately our first meeting right here. Thank you so much. I'm gonna give you your box to take with you. You don't have one.
Thank you, Ms. Stewart. Our second award this morning is the 2025 Regional Partner Award. And so this morning we will recognize an impactful leader in our community who has led their organization with strength and humility, forged partnerships with many organizations, including the Richmond Regional Transportation Planning Organization and our member localities, and been a true champion of cooperation and collaboration. I'll stay with the drum roll, please. This year's 2025 Regional Partner Award winner is Ms. Faith Walker. I'm gonna read some things about you and then we'll take a picture. I'd like to read an excerpt from a message prepared by your colleagues at RVA Rapid Transit when they learned you would be recognized this morning. Faith's grace and calm brilliance under fire will stay with me. I remember a day after discussing a particular challenge, she said most casually, "I'm just gonna give her a call." Moments later, she was on a conference call with Richmond, Chesterfield, and Henrico representatives and their lobbyists, bringing decision makers together to untie the political knot and advocate for the truth, the shared beliefs of a well-funded, people-friendly regional transit system. Even during the pandemic, her instinct was to connect directly with riders, She launched the Riders Voice Hotline so people could safely share their transit stories with dignity and respect. Then, when Faith stood before the GRTC board in the following years and played those very recordings, she carried the voices of riders into the room. Real stories of how zero fare changed lives. And look where we are today. I know she helped shift the perspectives of many good people here regarding the regional, social, fiscal health, and environmental benefits of zero fare. Faith's legacy is a true servant leader. Someone who placed the goodness and dignity of people at the center of everything she did. Whether she was talking with riders at the downtown transfer station or advocating for better transit infrastructure at the city and state levels. Whatever she touched, she made bigger and better. She welcomed you into the conversation, into the meeting, into the moment. Through her faith, authenticity, and courage, this region is making profound progress toward a transit system that is accessible, effective, and ready to serve generations to come. Her tangible impacts speak for themselves. Adopt the Stop in 2021. Now more than 10% of GRTC stops, over 170, are adopted by roughly 90 individuals and groups. Mobility University in 2022, more than 80 graduates from across the region now understand, champion, and help shape our transit system. State advocacy in 2024. She helped us to the legislature where we successfully passed House Bill 285, simplifying the process for installing bus shelters along state-maintained routes. Across her career, Faith directed 3 State of Transit reports, co-authored Cooling the Commute, and wrote the powerful report making the case for zero fare, all of which strengthened our advocacy and in many ways led to the regional transit conversations. Faith didn't just do the work, she transformed it, and we are all better for it. Faith, on behalf of the Richmond Regional Transportation Planning Organization and our partners at Plan RVA and CVTA, I am pleased to present the Regional Partner Award to you. Please accept it as a thanks for the work that you have done and will continue to do to improve our community. We know that you will soon be embarking on a new journey, and we wish you the best. But the Greater Richmond area will always be your home, and we look forward to welcoming you home each time that you come, and whatever you do going forward, please have a blessed career. Thank you.
All right, people can't see it. Perfect. Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Faith.
Finish this up.
I am, sir. Thank you.
Uh,
Thank you. You want money, sir? Yeah.
It's true, $3.
Yeah, we
You don't have to stand up, we'll sit down for a second. So, good morning, everyone. It's hard for me to stand up and not co-sign on what Mr. Rogas just said about Faith and the work. Cheryl Adams, where's Cheryl at? Is she in here? You know, I worked with GRTC over the last couple of years. A lot of the things, the voices that I heard, Faith has been the one that can organize that. And so it's people like Faith that sometimes people in this room will never meet unless you bump into her or she's connected to the work, the advocacy, the people on the street that you sometimes will not talk to. It's people like Faith that have kind of coordinated those voices. And so her leaving, not just the area, but the country for a while, hopefully she'll return back. and bring her family back this way. But I do want to let you know, my sister, you've done amazing work and you're going to be missed tremendously in this community, so. Like the last reward, y'all started laughing when I brought up Deputy McQuinn. Really, I wanna make sure that we understand that Dolores McQuinn is a huge part of the reason that we are here today when we talk about Central Virginia Transportation Authority. As local communities, we could talk about what we need, but we need an advocate in the General Assembly to pass legislation to make it happen. And in organizations like Plan RVA and TPO, we used to be so frustrated, and President Newbill was part of those conversations about how money was going to Tidewater, money was going to North Virginia, and we weren't getting our fair share. And, you know, Sean Davis part of those conversations. And it wasn't until we had a champion in the General Assembly, which seems like so long ago, but it wasn't. CVTA is how old? 5 years? 5 years old. Dolores McQuinn stood in the halls and pretty much championed the legislation for us to, at this point, now have received over $1 billion. Over $1 billion. In this region. And, you know, I want to pause because sometimes great people can be around so long that you forget or don't even know their work. And so Dolores McQuinn has been doing work for the region for over 3 decades. Some of us in this room haven't been here but 3 years or 4 years, and you don't know the great timber that we stand with. And so, you know, I want to take the moment to not just recognize her for CVTA, but to let you know that we still remember your work on the school board. Still remember your work on city council. We still are thankful for your decade plus in the house. And we know that you ain't going nowhere. You're still here, and we appreciate you. All this work you hearing here today, majority of it has a lot to do with you. So we want to make sure that we give you your flowers while we can. So let's show some love. Award is the Frank J. Thornton Chairman's Award. Mr. Thornton, we established this award in recognition of our first chair of the CVTA. Every year we find some awesome, incredible person in the region. And this year, Delegate Dolores McQuinn is the awardee. So we'll take a picture, but we want to hear from her too. All right? All right, I'm gonna put this right here while you.
Is it morning, still morning, or is that, yeah, still morning? Good morning. Still morning. Good morning. I am truly humbled and honored to Board Supervisor, Chairman Tyrone Nelson, and to many of those faces who are in the place who have been tremendous and also helping to make a difference in the region. Thank you, just thank you from the very depth of my heart. I sat back listening this morning, and I am just so proud of this organization. Whatever I've been able to do and accomplish has only been because of teamwork. It has never been Dolores alone. It's always been someone, you know, behind the scene, in the background, people pushing you on, inspiring you, encouraging you. And so I know that based on my own life and listening to you this morning in terms of the three organizations that have come together with the understanding that the center of your attention is the region and the 9 localities that are part of the CBTA. And working together, that is the only way that we really are able to accomplish the things that have been accomplished. I have been here for a moment, and every time Tyrone says something about McQuinn has been here for, I start like, you calling me old, or are you just saying something? But I know it is out of his respect for me, and I appreciate it. But again, thank you all for the work that you have done. I see it as I ride around in the region, as I go places. I can, I know that it's working on the behalf of generations yet to come. And this is what this is all about. Not just those of us who benefit today, but I pray that generations from now will look at organizations like this and say, you know what, they cared about us and they cared enough to make a difference in the lives in our lives as well as in the communities in which we live. So thank you, appreciate it, and God bless you. And I pray that you guys and girls, okay, will continue to prosper in terms of making a difference and bringing about transformational changes in the region. God bless. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh.
You need to put some super glue on that.
Just don't.
Grab it.
Where's your box?
Yeah, grab it from the.
Give her a box.
I don't.
You're gonna need someone to walk around.
Yeah, that
Your
does.
box for that?
Yeah, we'll get you straight, Nelly.
It's very hard to follow that, so please give me a bit of grace. But I think Delegate McQuinn set me up very appropriately for this. As she talks about all the work that she and the people that have supported her have done to get us to the very point that we're at today, she said, there are people behind you, there are people in the background that push you and encourage you and inspire you, and that are doing the work every day. And we would be remiss as a group if we did not take the moment to acknowledge one of our fearless leaders, Martha, on her 10-year anniversary as the Plain RVA Executive Director. She hates this, so I will not drag it out, but I just want to give a token of appreciation to you from all of us and to Chet for making sure that this happened today. So thank you, and I look forward to 10 more years at least. Right.
With that concludes the items on our agenda for today. I want to thank everyone for coming. Thank my colleagues, Mr. Nelson, Ms. Stewart. We met a month ago to try to plan this out. Thank you, Chet. Thank you, Martha, for putting this together. We'll be around at the end if anyone wants to continue to bring things up. Other than that, have a wonderful holiday season. Thank you.